Then we'll do more questions from AOD.
Alright.
First one is limit x tends to infinity, x power 5 by 5x, 5 power x. Right?
Right.
Now, this one, first of all, you can immediately guess that the answer will be 0 because 5 power x will grow faster than, will rise up very fast as compared to x power 5. For example, think of a value x is equal to 100, right? So on top you have 100 power 5 and in the denominator you have 5 power 100, right?
Right.
Now there is no comparison between these. This is much bigger.
Yeah.
So immediately you are seeing that it is almost close to 0 even at x is equal to 100. So x tends to infinity, obviously you will have this term will dominate. As you become larger and larger, the denominator will dominate. So the limit answer should be 0. Now, how do you do this? You can also think about it as 5 power x expansion you can write. Okay. So 5 power x expansion, if I have to do, so I have to do a power x expansion, right? A is equal to 5.
Yeah.
A power x expansion is, let's try to do it by Taylor series. So it will be f of 0 is 1, right?
Right.
And f dash x is a power x ln a, and that will be f dash 0 will become again ln a, right?
Right.
And f double dash x will become again, see, ln a, and a power x differentiation is again a power x ln a.
Yeah.
So f double dash 0 will be ln a whole square, right? So you get
Right.
pattern f of 0 is 1 plus f dash 0 is ln a into x power 1 by 1 factorial plus this will be ln a whole square x square by 2 factorial plus so on. This is the series on the bottom where a is equal to 5, right?
Right.
On top, however, you have x power 5. X power 5 by this is 1 plus ln a x power 1 plus ln a whole square by 2 factorial x square and so on. And now you can clearly see that this denominator polynomial has degree very high. No?
Yes.
The degree of the polynomial here, denominator, is definitely higher than 5.
5. Yeah.
So when you have a higher degree polynomial in the denominator and the upper degree is 5, then it will be limit will be 0.
Right.
Then divide by x power 5 and you will get immediately first 5 6 terms will be 0 here, but after that all the other terms will be infinity, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
will be 1 by something 0 0 0 so on, and then after some time it will be infinity plus so on. That
Right.
will become 0, right?
Yeah.
But you don't have to do Taylor series. You should be able to predict the values by just thinking of the things, two functions. Look at some random value like x is 10, 100. You will realize that this is much larger.
Got it.
Okay. The second one, question 2. 1 second. Is this thing. Function fx is equal to x square minus a. Okay, 1 second. Fx is defined as x square minus ax plus 3 if x is rational, and it is 2 minus x if x is irrational, okay. Now he's saying function is continuous at exactly 2 points, then the possible values of a, okay. Fx is continuous at 2 points, continuous at exactly 2 points. You have to find possible values of a, okay. So this question, we have seen questions like this earlier. So the problem that happens here is that if it was something like this, for example, 1 0, x is rational and x is irrational, right?
Right.
this function will not be continuous at any point. Why is
Yeah.
it not continuous at any point? Because at any point you don't know the neighborhood whether it is 1 or 0,
Right.
right? At
Yeah.
any specific point you can say the answer for a specific point, but you don't know what is the next point, right?
Yes.
Because next point will be irrational or rational. You can put infinite number of irrational and rationals right next to them.
Yes.
So the problem is that the limit does not exist. Limit does not exist at any point. Exist at any point. And if limit does not exist at any point, then it cannot be continuous, right? Even if you know f of a, you have to prove that limit of x tends to a, f of x should also be equal to that, right?
Yes.
For continuity. So
Yeah.
this function would not be continuous at any point, and the idea is that the function definition does not allow any limits to be there. But if I had a function like this, suppose x and 1 minus x, right?
Yeah.
Same things, rational, irrational. Then you can easily say that the same logic applies, but there is one special point where both are equal. The rational also tends to something and the irrational also tends to something. For example, x is equal to half, right?
Yeah.
Near x is equal to half, the rational is tending to half and irrational is also tending to half, right?
Yeah.
So that is one nice point where limit will tend to half, right? From both sides.
Right.
And value is also half. So it will be continuous at one point, right?
Yeah.
Any other point, it will not be continuous because the values will not match. X will never be equal to x1 minus x. Correct?
Right.
So the same idea you have to do here. Like the only way this function can be continuous at some point is when this value is equal to this value, right?
Right.
When both the tendencies are becoming same, then you will get a continuity at some point, right?
Yes.
So now I have to just solve the quadratic equation. It is you have to solve x square minus ax plus 3 is equal to 2 minus x, and it has two roots, right?
Yeah. And those
Then
are
only it will be continuous. So now you can, from there you can get the range of a also, right?
Yes.
So let's do that. Suppose x square minus ax plus 2 is equal to 2 minus x. So you get x square minus ax plus x plus 0 is equal to 0, right? So it is
Right.
x square plus x 1 minus a is equal to 0.
It is x square minus ax plus 3, not 2.
Oh, huh. It is plus 3 and not 2. So it will be plus 1, right?
Yeah.
So the quadratic is becoming x square plus x 1 minus a plus 1 is equal to 0. And this is supposed to have 2 points. So exactly 2 points where it is continuous. So 2 roots. So discriminant is greater than equal to 0, right?
Right.
And okay, so it becomes 1 minus a whole square minus 4 is greater than equal to 0, right?
Right.
Probably greater than 0 because it didn't say that two identical points. That would have been 1 point only, right? So I'll just put greater than, right?
Right.
If d is equal to 0, you will have 1 point where there are two roots.
Yeah.
So this becomes 1 minus a should be greater than 2, or 1 minus a is less than minus 2. So that tells you that take the a this side and take the 2 this side. So minus 1 is greater than a, and here it becomes 3 is less than a, right?
Right.
So any a where a is greater than a is less than minus 1, minus 1 is here, 3 is here, and 3 is greater than 3, right?
Yeah.
So these are the possible values of a for which you will have continuity at exactly 2 points, right?
Right.
So there is an infinite set of values of a actually, for which you have, I mean, he didn't say anything, so probably the answer will be in terms of a set of values of a, right?
Yeah.
Do you understand the logic why it is continuous at such points?
Yeah, I got it.
Right. Okay. Then question number 3 is 1 second. Wait, I cannot read it very nice. Wait. F of R to R is a positive increasing function with limit x tends to, okay. F of R to R is a positive increasing function. Increasing function with limit x tends to infinity, f of 3x, by f of x is equal to 1. Then you have to find limit x tends to infinity f of 2x by f of x, right?
Right.
Okay, it's a positive increasing function and this limit is equal to 1. Okay, fine. So limit f of 3x by f of x is equal to 1. Positive increasing function. So first thing that we know is f of x is greater than 0 for all x,
Right.
so that it is positive, and you know that f dash x is greater than 0 for all x, right?
Yeah.
Because it is increasing.
Mm.
Now this limit thing, so if it is increasing, that as you increase it, then it should be infinity, right? Because f of, so if it is positive and increasing, then f of 0 must be positive, right?
Yes.
Every value is basically positive, right?
Positive. Yeah.
And minus infinity to infinity, it should be something like this, right? Because it
Right.
is forever increasing, right? So if
Yeah.
you go to a very high value this side, every value here is greater than the value previously, right?
Yes.
So eventually it will increase to infinity. Even if it is increasing very slowly also, then also it will eventually increase to infinity, right?
Yeah.
So this tendency of this is infinity and tendency of this is also infinity, right? So
Right.
it is L'Hopital form right now, correct?
Yeah. Right.
So you can say limit of x tends to infinity. This is equal to 3 times f dash 3x by f dash x, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And that is equal to 1 apparently. Now 3 times f dash 3x by f dash x limit is 1. Then you have to basically predict what is this limit. So f dash 2 times f dash 2x by f dash x. This is what? Okay. Uh, hmm. There are some options. Can this? No, there are no options.
The answer is 1 though.
Answer is?
1.
Answer is 1.
Yeah.
Okay. But that doesn't help us much right now. What I can say for sure is that as x tends to infinity, f of 3x is equal to f of x, right?
Right.
Then only the limit is 1, right?
Yeah.
So is it a constant function or something? But constant function will not be increasing. So constant function cannot be increasing. So if it was a linear function, something like a plus x, where a is positive, right?
Yeah.
So, but then the limit would have been 3, right? f of 3x would have been a plus 3x by a plus x. The limit is coming out to be 3.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have an x, it cannot be a polynomial with an x dependency, right?
Right.
You understand? It
Yeah.
cannot be a polynomial because then the limit would not have been 1, it would have been some 3 or something, right?
Yes.
Okay. So slightly weird because I'm not able to predict which function will be like this. Constant function would have worked, but this part is ruining it. F dash x is increasing. So we have 3 f dash 3x is equal to f dash x. So as x tends to infinity. Hmm. 3 times f dash 3x. So if you have a function a plus x by 3, f dash x would have been 1 by 3 and f dash 3x. No, it won't work. Where is this question from?
My maths teacher had sent it today from a worksheet.
Seems weird, dude. What function will be such that f of 3x is tending to f of x and it's not a it cannot be polynomials, it cannot be e power x because e power 3x would not give the same limit. It cannot be, can it be log functions? Let me see. Let's say f of x is something like log x. F of 3x will be log of 3x. So you will get log of 3x by log of x. This is f of 3x by 3 f of x. So limit x tends to infinity of this would be differentiation. So 1 by 3x into 3x into 3, right?
Yeah.
And here you have 1 by x into 1, right? Oh, okay, this is becoming 1, no?
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
Okay, so then yeah, so this is fitting, but then you should not have defined it like this, it's not possible.
Yeah. Right.
You should have defined it from log definition would have been positive reals,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if fx is equal to a simple log function, right, then that at least satisfies it is positive. Also log function is not always positive, right? So you have to actually define it from r is great, it is from 1 to infinity, right,
Yeah. Right.
to r, right?
Yeah.
So there are issues with the log function because log function is like this, right? Some part it is negative
Right.
also. If
Yeah.
you define log function from here to infinity, then it satisfies all the conditions. It will be positive, it is increasing, and limit x tends to infinity f of 3x by f of x is becoming 1, right?
Right. Right.
And then f of 2x by f of x will also become 1 because we'll do same thing. It is log 2x by log x, right?
Yeah.
And different right now it is infinity by infinity form. So L'Hopital rule. So 1 by 2x into 2 by 1 by x, right?
Yeah.
That is also equal to 1. So I think there is some problem with the question because no other polynomials cannot be done. E power x cannot be done. Log function is fitting, but then the definition is not working out, right?
Right.
So then he should have defined the function from 1 to infinity to r, right?
Yeah.
Not r to r. R to r, I don't think I can find any function also for this. Tan x and all, no, it will not work. Nothing trigonometric can work.
Right.
So log function, and then it will come. Then answer will come as 1, but slight problems with the question. Okay. So discuss it with him. Ask him which function he is thinking.
Right.
1 second. Then the next one is limit of n tends to infinity. Limit of n tends to infinity 1 by a plus d plus 1 by a plus d a plus 2d and so on so on till n terms. A is greater than d, d is greater than 0 is what he's asking. So actually this is very straightforward because what you have to do is, if you do n terms, what is the last term here? Last term will be a plus n minus 1 into d and a plus nd, right?
Right.
Correct. But
Yeah.
this is just method of differences, okay? Like, you know about method of differences, no? So
No.
you have to know,
No.
you know it, dude. You have to split each fraction into two parts and cancel terms. Like when you do sum of some series and all, like in APGP and all, you can split each term into difference of two terms, no? And terms start canceling.
Yeah.
Telescoping method
Yeah.
or method of differences it is called. So what I will do here is I will write 1 by d and d by everything I will multiply by d. Why? Because I noticed difference of these two is d. Difference of these two is d.
Okay.
So see what is happening. Every term I am multiplying by d. I have just put 1 by d and every factor, every fraction has a d on top now.
Yes.
So now it is very easy because what I can do is I can write that d in terms of a plus d minus a.
Right.
And here I will write it as a plus 2d minus a plus d.
Yeah.
And here I will write it as a plus nd minus a plus n minus 1d.
Right.
Every time it is the same d, no? The reason it is working is because each of the factors in the denominator of every fraction have a difference which is same, which is d.
Yeah.
So therefore you just need that, and notice what happens. If you write it like this, you can split this one fraction into two fractions.
Yeah. Right.
It will be 1 by a minus 1 by a plus d, right?
Right.
And this will be what? 1 by a plus d minus 1 by a plus 2d, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The next one will be 1 by a plus 2d minus 1 by a plus 3d, and so on. And the last one will be 1 by a plus n minus 1d minus 1 by a plus nd, right?
Right.
And see that every term is cancelling middle terms.
Right.
So till here everything will cancel. Last term will come like this, and first term, first part is coming, right?
Yeah.
So finally you have the whole thing has been simplified and you have gotten it as 1 by d 1 by a minus 1 by a plus nd, right?
Yep.
Now this is very straightforward. You do a plus nd, and on top comes a plus nd minus d. Actually, you don't even need to do anything. Don't do this. Just directly take limit. What is the limit? N tends to infinity, right?
Yeah.
So this part should disappear.
0, yeah.
So answer will be 1 by AD.
Right.
Correct. 1 second, option should be there, 1 by AD.
That's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So basically the idea of the question, this method is called method of differences, where what are you doing? You're writing the top part. It was 1 by this, so I don't want 1 by this. I want 1 by d into d by this, because that would be easier. And what I'm doing is 1 by d and writing the top part as a plus d minus a. So it becomes 1 by a minus 1 by a plus d.
Plus D, yeah, got it.
And every term, if you split like this, all these terms get cancelled. And only first terms one part and last terms one part will remain.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is this one. Then the next one is this limit question. Question is limit n tends to infinity 2 cube minus 1 cube by 2 cube plus 1 cube into 3 cube minus 1 cube by 3 cube plus 1 cube multiplied like this till n cube minus 1 by n cube plus 1. You have to find the value of this limit. Now, this limit is basically a product of many terms, right? So
Yeah.
you can write it as okay, so product I'm writing simple, r goes from 1 to n minus 1. Okay, and the first term, each term is basically fitting the pattern of r plus 1 whole cube plus 1 and r plus 1 whole cube minus 1, right?
Right.
See, this is a product. So first term, when you put r1, you'll get this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Then second term, you'll get this one and so on until n minus 1, right?
Yep.
So you have to do limit of n tends to infinity of this thing. Okay. Let that limit be L. Okay. So now there are multiple ways to handle this. Let me just try one thing. So first I will try to simplify this and see what comes in general in terms of R. I'll see what comes. So a cube minus b cube will be a minus b. So r into a square plus ab. So r plus 1 whole square plus r plus 1 plus 1 divided by a plus b. So r plus 2 a square minus ab. R plus 1 whole square minus r plus 1 plus 1, right?
Right.
So on top here you have 2r, r square plus 2r plus 1 plus r. So r square plus 3r plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 3. And here you have r square plus 2r plus 1. So r square plus 2r minus r, so plus r plus 1 minus 1, so plus 0 plus 1, right?
Right.
That doesn't seem to be helping much. This simplification doesn't help. 1 second. Okay. Because you have to multiply many such terms, so yeah, doesn't help. So let's not do that then. What I will do is simply do a log, because it's a product of so many terms. It will be easier if I do a log, then it will become a sum of so many terms, right?
Yeah.
So I'll say limit of n tends to infinity, and I'll put a log here, and it will become a sum from 1 to n minus 1. It will be log of this thing by r plus 1 whole cube plus 1, right? Is equal to log L, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Correct. Then log I can split as r plus 1 whole cube minus 1 minus this log r plus 1 whole cube plus 1, right?
Yeah.
This log can be split, but does it help? Doesn't seem to be helping. You're not, am I getting any cancellations? So I'm getting log of r plus 1 whole cube minus 1 minus log of r plus 1 whole cube plus 1, and I am supposed to do a summation from r is 1 to n minus 1, right? So 2 cube plus 1 cube, but these terms are not matching very nicely. Next one will be 4 cube minus 1 cube by 4 cube plus 1 cube, right? Terms don't seem to be matching here, right?
Yeah.
So if the terms were matching, I could have cancelled some terms, no?
Yes.
When you separate it as log, the terms will cancel if it were matching, but right now it doesn't seem to be matching.
Yeah.
So what to do then? Let's think. Uh, R square. Okay. Hmm. See, now it seems like this is going to help after all, because we can write the numerator part, which is r cube, r plus 1 whole cube minus 1 as r into this, right? And denominator part as r plus 2 into this.
Right.
So this will split up as, 1 second. You will get summation of r is 1 to n minus 1 log of numerator part is log r plus log of r square plus 3r plus 3 minus log of r plus 2, right? Minus log of r square plus r plus 1, right? This is what we are getting, and we have to do limit n tends to infinity also here. So let's focus our attention on these two and these two separately, right? So this is log r minus log r plus 2, and this is log of r square plus 3r plus 3 minus log of r square plus r plus 1, right?
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's focus on this for now. 1 to n minus 1. So this is what? Log 1 minus log 3. And the next term is log 2 minus log 4. Next term is log 3 minus log what? 5. Next term is log 4 minus log 6, right?
Yeah.
And last term will be last to last, let's like last two terms or at least three terms, right? So
Yeah.
third last term will be log, I'll put n minus 3, okay? It will be log of n minus 3 minus log of n minus 3 plus 2, so n minus 1, right? Then
Yeah.
second last term is I'll put n minus 2. So that will be n minus 2 minus log of n minus 2 plus 2, so n, right?
Right.
And last term will be n minus 1, n minus 1 minus log of this will become n minus 1 plus 2, so n plus 1, right?
Right.
Now notice that you are getting some cancellations here, this and this, right? This and this, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So
Yep.
some cancellations are happening. So if you look at a series of 4 terms, the last two first parts will cancel with the previous two, right?
Yes.
Correct. So for
Yeah.
example, here also this is canceling, right?
Yeah.
N minus 2 should have cancelled with the previous term, right?
Right.
So hopefully all of these terms will get cancelled. 5 and 6 will cancel eventually with some lower terms. 5 here, 5 will come, no, next one,
Yeah.
and 6 will come here, right?
Right.
So you understand all of these middle terms get cancelled except first two terms
The
here
last two.
and the last two terms here, right?
Yeah.
So you will get, and eventually after doing the summation, log 1 plus log 2 minus log n minus log n plus 1, right?
Right.
Okay, that is progress. So you get here log 2 by n into n plus 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we have to think about this series, right? Okay. So I will just worry about this here. Log of r square plus 3r plus 3 minus log of r square plus r plus 1, right?
Right.
And r goes from 1 to n minus 1, right?
Yeah.
So let's see what happens here. Log of, put 1, so it will become 1 plus 3 plus 3, 7, minus log of 1 plus 1 plus 1, so 3, right?
Yep.
Put 2, it will become 4 plus 6 plus 3, so 13, minus log of 4 plus 2 plus 1, 7, you see.
Yeah.
Put 3, you'll get 9 plus 9 plus 3, so 21, and here it becomes log of 9 plus 3, log 13, see.
Right.
Correct. So notice
Yeah.
that you are getting cancellations again, right? This is canceling this is canceling this, right?
Yep.
So there are cancellations like this that are happening, man.
Yep.
So eventually what you should have is when you put n minus 1, right?
Yeah.
uh first term will not be cancelled of that last one, right? Because
Right.
the last term, this one will get cancelled, right?
Yes.
And the second term or first term is not getting cancelled, right?
Right.
You understand what is happening?
Yes.
So let's write the n minus 1 term. So it will be log of n minus 1 square plus 3n minus 1. So 3n minus 3 plus 3. And this term I won't even write because it will get cancelled. Because
Right.
all cancellations are happening like this, right?
Right.
So I want eventually end up with log of this one is n square minus 2n plus 1, n square minus 2n plus 3n, so plus n and plus 1, that's it, right?
Yeah.
Minus log 3, right?
Yeah.
So this is becoming log of n square plus n plus 1 by 3, right?
Right.
And from the previous one you had log of 2 by n into n plus 1, right?
Yeah.
So therefore you are getting log of 2 into n square plus n plus 1 by 3 n square plus n, right?
Yep.
This is my thing, and now I have to do limit n tends to infinity here, right?
Yes.
That was equal to log of L, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so limit n tends to infinity I have to do here. So first of all, notice that it is infinity by infinity form.
Yeah. Right.
Log of this numerator, no, it is not infinity by infinity form. It is log of, okay, no, it is not infinity by infinity form. It is right now looking like this. Log of L is equal to limit n tends to infinity log of, on top there is 2n square plus n plus 1 and denominator is 3n square plus n, right?
Right.
So then let's just remove the log. It's unnecessary now, right?
Yeah.
You'll get L is equal to limit of n tends to infinity of just this part, right?
Right.
which is equal to 2 by 3, because now I can divide by n square, and
Square.
these are same degree, so it will be 1, right?
Yes.
You understand what is happening?
I did.
So first what we are doing is we are taking a log to convert the product into a sum, right?
Right.
There are product of many terms. Whenever you have product of many terms and some limit value, right? Then
Yeah.
take that limit as L, take a log, it will become a sum of log of those terms, right?
Right.
Okay. And this is log L. Now we were trying to analyze what happens to the sum of logs, right? So
Yeah.
first I wrote each term in terms of R, and R goes from 1 to n minus 1, right?
Yes.
And because R helps you analyze what will happen. So now when you separate it out, I separated it out by using the identities for R cube minus 1 and R cube plus 1, right?
Right.
You could have not split it and directly done it also, I think, but maybe you would have, maybe the pattern would not have been obvious. Like if I directly did it, it was 2 cube minus 1 by 2 cube plus 1. Are the values matching at some stage? 3 cube minus 1 by 3 cube plus 1 and 4 cube minus 1 by 4 cube plus, okay, values are not matching here, right? So it will be 7 by 9 here, right? And
Yeah.
this is 26 by 29, right?
Right.
28, right? 28, and this is 26, right? And this is 63 by 65. See, right now if you split it, no, and try to cancel such stuff, nothing gets cancelled.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But if you split it after factorizing, R square plus R plus 1 by R plus 2 R square something, right? Minus 3R plus 3, whatever we did, right?
Yeah.
After that, if you split it R and R by 2, obviously you will see cancellations. And these two quadratics, you will see cancellations.
Right.
You understand what has happened?
Yes.
So directly the cubic, you are not seeing any direct cancellations when you make it a sum of logs. But if you split it into the using the factorization of a cube minus b cube and a cube plus b cube, then after that R and R by 2, you can group and see what will happen if you go from 1 to n minus 1. Right?
Yeah.
And same thing for the quadratic terms also. So
Yeah.
eventually we got this after simplifying, and then it is not infinity by infinity because there is only one log and this is only one term of that log, right? There is no denominator right now, right? So
Right.
what I will do is, the log seems unnecessary at this stage. We can, because clearly both sides there is a log. So we'll remove the log. It will be L is equal to this.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
And after that, it is straightforward. This is 2 by 3.
Right.
Okay. Then after this, there is one more, right?
Yes.
Right. There is one more, two more. There is one integer type also, right? Largest value of this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, the question is, find the largest value of non-negative integer a for which limit of x tends to 1 minus ax plus sine of x minus 1 plus a divided by x plus sine of x minus 1 minus 1 whole to the power 1 minus x by 1 minus root x, right?
Right.
Is equal to 1 by 4. Okay, so first of all, I can easily see that 1 minus x by 1 minus root x is simply 1 plus root x, no?
Yeah.
A square minus b square.
Yeah.
So the power is nothing. Power is 2 only, no? This tends to 2, right?
So yeah.
Okay, great. So this is 2 actually. right?
Yes.
So I'll not worry about this now. Now I have to find the limit here. It seems like it is L'Hopital form, right? When you put 1, denominator becomes 0, numerator becomes 0, correct?
Yes.
So that is easy for us because now we just do differentiation, right? So first
Right.
I will do minus ax plus sine. I will not differentiate just the inside part. I will take the 2 inside, right? This is square by x minus 1 plus sine of x minus 1 and whole square also, right?
Yes.
Limit of x tends to 1, correct?
Correct.
So fine. So L'Hopital, let's do. So the numerator becomes 2 times this, 2 times this into differentiation of this is minus a plus cos of x minus 1, right?
Right.
By 2 times this into differentiation of this will be 1 plus cos of x minus 1, right?
Right.
Now because of this thing, it is still 0 by 0.
Yeah.
So I have to differentiate once more, right?
Yeah. Right.
So this is the product of two functions now. So I'll do it properly. So first I'll differentiate this one. So minus a plus cos of x minus 1 and multiplied by this, which is same thing, so square,
Right.
plus I will keep this as it is, minus ax plus sine of x minus 1 plus a, and differentiate this, which is minus sine x minus 1, right?
Yeah.
Divided by differentiation of this, which is same thing, so it will become square, 1 plus cos x minus 1 whole square, plus keep this as it is, sine x minus 1, and differentiate that one, which will become minus sine x minus 1, right?
Right.
At this stage, I don't think now it is no longer L'Hopital because this is non-zero,
Yes.
right? Now you can put
Yeah.
the value of 1. So let's put the value of 1 here. This term disappears, right? 0.
Yes.
So this is useless. This goes away. And this term also is 0,
Goes
right?
away now.
So put the value of 1 now. It is minus a plus cos 0 is 1. So whole square divided by denominator is 2, right? 2 square
Right.
is equal to 1 by 4. 2 square will cancel. You have 1 minus a whole square is equal to 1, right?
1. Yeah.
So 1 minus a can be minus 1 or 1. So you'll get 2 is equal to a, or you'll get 0, right?
Right.
So largest non-negative integer a is 2,
It's 2.
is 2. So in this question, first you should notice that this numerator, this part is very simple. It's actually just 2. And then think about what happens when you do this, right? This was becoming L'Hopital only,
Yep.
correct?
Yeah.
So not very difficult because L'Hopital it was, right? So
Yes.
you can just differentiate. Be careful, don't just do this part inside and forget about the 2,
Yeah.
because it is square by square, it's still L'Hopital, so you differentiate it properly.
Right.
Now the last one is this limit n tends to infinity, gif of x plus gif of 2x plus so on 3x till gif of nx by n square. Okay, now this is an application of sandwich theorem that we had seen earlier once. Sandwich theorem, we said, was if fx is less than equal to gx is less than equal to hx, right? And if you have limit of x tends to a fx is equal to limit of x tends to a gx hx, right?
Yeah.
Then the middle function, which is between these two functions, must also become that only, no, in that limit. Because the function is always sandwiched between this function and this function, right?
Yes.
If the top function and the bottom function are tending to same limit, then that means the function gx is squeezed between them, no?
Yes.
Do you remember that we have discussed this?
Yeah.
Like this, if there are two functions and there is one third function in the middle, right? Always.
Yeah. It's
So if this and this first and third are becoming some limit, then middle one is also that limit, right?
yes.
So why is this an application of sandwich theorem? Because we can always write GIF of x minus 1 is less than equal to this is less than equal to x, right?
Yes.
Correct. So similarly, 2x GIF, we will write it as 2x minus 1 and less than equal to 2x and
Right.
3x. So you will be able to construct two other functions, right? So add up all of these till nx, right?
Yeah.
And you will be able to say that it must be greater than this and lesser than this, right?
Right.
Add up all of these, right?
Right.
So let's add this one, and that will be x common 1 plus 2 till n. So n into n plus 1 by 2, right?
Yes.
Divided by n square, right?
Yeah.
So we can say for sure that my function here is lesser than equal to this, right?
Yes.
Because every part of it is less than this, right?
Right.
Okay. And what is the limit of this as n tends to infinity? N will once cancel here and n will once cancel here. And it will become simply x by 2, right?
Right.
You see that n will cancel, no? N square you will divide, right? This is fine.
Yeah. It's fine.
And this one, let's see what happens to the lower function. Lower function is actually x common n into n plus 1 by 2, but you have to subtract n from it, right?
Yes.
Divided by n square, right? So notice that this is also becoming x by 2, 1 plus 1 by n minus 1 by n, right? This is this.
Yeah.
So limit n tends to infinity, this is also tending to x by 2.
Right.
See, the lower function also tends to x by 2, upper function also tends to x by 2.
X by 2.
So the
Yeah.
middle one tends to x by 2,
Yeah.
right? So this
Right.
is a straightforward sandwich theorem question. So you have to be aware of how to use it. Whenever you see GIF and all, no, you should remember this example. And there are some other examples also where I think some of the examples were like this. You had to prove something like this: sine x by x square. What is the limit as x tends to 0? Something like this. No, not x tends to 0. I don't remember exactly. Some other examples also we had done, but you have to use basically the identity this.
Yeah.
So hopefully if you can construct another example where minus 1 by something and this by something, both will tend to, okay, as x tends to infinity, right? Limit x tends to infinity, do this, right? So
Yeah.
right now you will not be able to immediately say what this will be because you don't know the value of this part, right?
Yes.
But because we know sin x has to be between minus 1 and 1, you can say that it is like this, right?
Right.
And now this limit will be 0 and this limit is also 0.
0.
So this has to be 0.
0.
So examples like this you will see. Like you can now say the same thing happens in this case also. You don't have to have x square also. You can just say this much also. Just simply x, right? This function.
Yeah.
This is also 0 because minus 1 and 1. This is also an example of sandwich theorem. Because minus 1 by x will tend to 0 and 1 by x will also tend to 0.
10 to 0.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, 1 second. Let's now look at questions from the Francis books. No other doubts, right? Do you have anything else?
No.
Okay. 1 second. Let's look at the slightly advanced questions here. So have you tried this book?
I was doing limits in that.
Okay, so limits in that. So try the higher level exercises there in the limits and continuity and all section.
Yeah.
Uh, let's look at some JE questions. For example, so for example, there is a JE questions exercise there. So we can look at one question, JE 2009. Limits question. Let L is equal to limit of x tends to 0, limit of x tends to 0, a minus root over a square minus x square, root over a square minus x square minus x square by 4 minus x square by 4 divided by x power 4, and you have a is greater than 0. Now he's saying if L is finite, then find the value of both a and L. You have to find a also and L also. Okay, so this question, think about it. You are given that limit is coming out to be finite. So this is a question where if you put 0 here, it is coming 0 by 0, right?
Right.
So, but I would ideally not want to do L'Hospitals here. Why? Because you'll have to do so many times, no?
Yes.
First you will do 4x cube, then you'll do 12x square, then 24x, and finally 24, right?
Yeah.
But 4 differentiations here will not be nice because of this thing.
Root, yeah.
Right? So don't do L'Hospital. The way to do this question is by series. So just try to find the series of this. That's the only series you need, right? Because after that, everything you can simplify, right?
Right.
So you just need to expand this using some knowledge of series. So binomial theorem can also work here if you know binomial theorem for this type of situation, right? So what you can do is first convert it, take a square outside, a will come out, right, after the root. So it will become 1 minus x square by a square to the power half, right?
Right.
Now try to expand this as a binomial series, or you can do the Taylor series thing also, by the way, right? But Taylor series thing, don't do Taylor series because Taylor series will also involve the same derivatives, right? You understand? In Taylor series, to get the terms, you need derivatives, right? Hello?
Yeah.
So the reason we are doing this method is because we want to avoid taking derivatives of this. Correct?
Right.
You understand? Otherwise, if we had easy derivatives, you would have done L'Hospital only, no?
Yep.
So don't do Taylor series, do binomial theorem. Binomial theorem for something like this, we have this situation. 1 plus x power n will be 1 plus nx plus n minus 1 by 2 x square plus n minus 1 n minus 2 by 1 into 2 into 3 x cube and so on, right?
Right.
This is nc1 only, this is nc2 only, right?
Yeah.
So I will just write 1 minus x square by a square to the power half. So instead of x, I have minus x square by a square. Instead of n, I have half. So 1 plus half minus x square by a square plus half. Half minus 1 is minus half by 2 minus x square by a square whole square. And one more term I'll write, half minus half, half minus 4 by 2. So minus 3 by 2 by 6 into minus x square by a square whole cube, right?
Right.
These three terms I have written. Let me just simplify it a little bit here. So what I will get is this series is equal to 1 minus x square by 2a square. And this is minus 1 by 4 by 2. So 1 by 8 and minus comes. So plus 1 by 8. Plus 1 by 8 and it is x power 4 by a power 4, right?
Right.
Correct. So
Yeah.
this is next term is negative and this is 8 and there is 3 by 6. So 3 by 48, right? So
Right.
that becomes 3 by 16. No, 1 by 16, right?
Yep.
3 by 48 is 1 by 16 and powers become x power 6 by a power 6, right?
Yeah.
I will not write any further terms. So right now I've expanded this. I have to multiply it by a, right?
Yes.
And I have to subtract a minus this, and I have to subtract an x power 4, x square by 4 also, right?
Yes.
So a minus a will cancel this first term, and you will get this term is cancelled because of this. And you get plus a. So x square by 2a and minus, so minus x4 by 8a cube, right?
Right.
Plus x6 by 16a5 and all, right?
Yeah.
And I have a minus x square by 4, right?
Yes.
And denominator, I have an x power 4, right?
Yeah.
Now, what is the condition under which this limit as x tends to 0 will be finite, right? So notice that the denominator is x power 4, right? And numerator right now seems like it has a very high degree, but this x square term, right?
Yeah.
This x square term, if it doesn't disappear, what will happen? When you divide by x square and all, there will be 1 by x square left, no?
Yes.
So wait, I'll just do it in this space here.
That term has to disappear. So
Has to disappear, otherwise limit will be infinite when x tends to 0. Because I can divide by x power 4 each term, right?
yeah. So a will be 2.
So basically, what happens is x square 1 by 2a minus 1 by 4 plus x power, no, not plus, minus x power 4 by 8a cube plus x power 6 by 16a5 and so on. This is the series and divided by x power 4. So the limit will be infinite if this term doesn't disappear, because this will become 1 by x square, right?
Yes.
And if this is not 0, then this is tending to infinity, right?
Yep.
So 1 by 2a must be equal to 1 by 4 and a must be equal to 2, right? And if a is equal to 2, I will divide here, it will become minus 1 by 8a cube plus these terms will become x square by 16a5 and so on, right?
Yeah.
And limit x tends to infinity, every term further away from this is 0 because x will be in the numerator.
Yep.
So the answer will be minus 1 by 8 into 8. So minus 1 by 64 limit.
You're right.
So limit will also come, a will also come. The only thing we needed was the knowledge that L is finite, right? As
Yeah.
soon as you know that L is finite, immediately you are able to solve for a also and for the limit also by using the condition that the expansion on top should not have a x square term and should have a just an x4 starting term, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you had done Taylor series or L'Hopital's rule, the problem would have been the differentiation of this term. One differentiation is fine, but second differentiation onwards, it becomes really annoying. So this is f dash x, right?
Yeah.
But second differentiation onwards, you have to do quotient rule and all. So that is not at all the way to do it. So
Right.
you have to use the binomial theorem of a square minus x square to the power half. Okay. And the way to do that binomial is take a square outside, make it 1 minus x square by a square to the power half multiplied by a, and then expand this part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
This was JEE 2009. Then let's look at 2011. So JEE 2011, there is a question. Limit of x tends to 0. Limit of x tends to 0. 1 plus x ln 1 plus b square 1 plus b square to the power minus 1 by x is equal to 2b sine square theta, 2b sine square theta, where b is greater than 0, and you have to find out the value of theta. Find out theta if it is given that theta lies between minus pi and pi. Lies between minus pi and pi like this. Okay, so first you have to find the limit, then do the equation. So okay, so here minus 1 by x is here. So x tends to 0 is also there, right? So this can be written as 1 by 1 plus x ln 1 plus b square to the power 1 by x, right?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Why did I do that? Because I will have a plus infinity power there, right?
Right.
I don't want a minus infinity power because I don't know how that minus infinity will be. So I will just write this as 1 by 1 plus x ln 1 plus b square to the power 1 by x, right?
Yeah.
That is the same thing, no?
Yes.
So now I just need to figure out what is the value of this limit, right?
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So notice that this is 1 plus fx, which is fx is tending to 0, right?
Yes.
To the power gx is tending to infinity.
The-
This is a standard form that we have learned. When you have limit x tends to something, 1 plus fx to the power gx, where fx tends to 0 and gx tends to infinity, that is equal to e power the same limit fx into gx, right?
Yes.
Great. So fx is this, gx is this. Multiply by them. So you'll get e power limit x tends to 0 ln 1 plus b square into x into 1 by x, right?
Yeah.
X and 1 by x cancel, and it is simply ln 1 plus b square. There's no x term here, right?
Right.
So it is e power ln 1 plus b square. So that becomes what? Simply 1 plus b square, right?
Yeah.
So this denominator is tending to 1 plus b square, right? So
Yeah.
here 1 by 1 plus b square is equal to 2b sine square theta, right?
Right.
Okay. Now you have to solve for theta. Fine. So actually I think there's a printing mistake, because if it was plus, right, I would have gotten 1 plus b square, right?
Right.
This is a much better question because this uses another thing. I think it is a printing mistake. Okay, so I will just work with plus 1 by x, because right now there is no nice trick to solve this, because b is positive, so you're getting 1 by 2b 1 plus b square, right?
Yes.
B is positive, so this quantity is positive, so there are roots, but there is no way to know what the root will be now.
Right.
right? Because this is greater than 1, right? So
Yeah.
there are multiple roots. You'll get the roots, but it will be in terms of b, right?
Yes.
But here it would have been, you would have found the answer here without even having any knowledge of b. So if it was a plus 1 by x thing, so what you get is 1 plus b square is equal to 2b sine square theta, right? So you get 1 plus b square by 2b is equal to sine square theta,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now here this is convenient because we know am gm, right? Am is greater than equal to gm. So if I take am gm of two numbers, right, 1 and b square, so what is this? 1 plus b square by 2 is greater than equal to gm of this 1 into b square, which is b, right?
Right.
So you have 1 plus b square by 2 is greater than equal to b, so therefore you have 1 plus b square by 2b is greater than equal to 1, right?
Yeah.
It cannot be greater than 1 if it has to be equal to sine square theta, right?
Yeah.
So it has to be equal to 1. 1 plus b square by 2b is equal to 1, right? That will happen
Right.
when 1 is equal to b square, right?
Yeah.
So this is 1. 1 is equal to sine square theta. So theta has to be plus minus pi by 2, right?
Right.
So that is a possible answer between minus pi by 2 and pi by 2. And we also know between minus pi to pi. And we also know the value of b from here. We have to ensure that b square is 1. So b can be plus or minus 1. But it cannot be minus 1 because it was given to be positive.
Yeah. Right.
B has to be 1 and theta has to be this, right? So
Yeah.
the question must have been this, because the other case, you will not get any real value. You will get some unknown only, right?
Right.
Okay. You should try the exercise, the advanced exercise, okay?
Okay.
The advanced exercises where there are IIT questions from previous year questions from IIT for the limits chapter also and the methods of differentiation chapter also. We will do this for like 1 more week. We can do this like by say, let's say 26th or by end of March. Till that we have time to do differential calculus. Okay. After that I will start integrals. So make sure that you are practicing questions every day so that you have all your doubts sorted. So we have to do LCD chapter and AOD chapter. At least we have to do previous year questions of JEE advanced. Okay.
Yeah.
So focus on those. Look through the examples and do the previous year questions at least. So we will finish that off by March and then we'll start integrals. Okay. Tomorrow we'll do chemistry class. I'll let you know the time around 6 or 6:30. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. That's all for now then. Bye.